We had another mass shooting. This one a little bit different than others. This man was caught on apparently a surveillance video or a camera walking into a building with some pretty big named companies and corporations that house themselves there. This happened in the middle of Manhattan. NBC News talked about it better than I could. Check this out.
Active shooter. We're getting multiple calls from 345 Park Avenue.
Tonight, police swarming this skyscraper in Midtown Manhattan after at least 2 people were shot, 1 police officer and 1 civilian, according to 2 senior law enforcement officers. 4 senior New York City officials say the suspected gunman, Shane Devin Tamura of Las Vegas, is dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound on the 33rd floor of the building. Earlier, the NYPD circulated this photo of a person with a long gun they say they were searching for in connection with the shooting, according to 3 senior law enforcement sources. The building, 345 Park Avenue, is the headquarters of the NFL, Blackstone, and accounting firm KPMG.
This is Blackstone headquarters, 345 Park Avenue, approximately 100 people hiding.
It all began around 6 p.m. as people were heading home for the day. Those inside told to shelter in place. You can see the section of Midtown Manhattan is completely cordoned off. A large police presence. 345 Park Avenue is just down that way. I was just speaking to one man who did not want to appear on camera. He told me that his wife is inside the building. She's on the 23rd floor. She says she's okay, but he's waiting for her to get out. Tonight, there is a massive police presence, but the NYPD says the scene is contained.
Another tragedy, more people dead at the hands of someone carrying a big, long gun and going into buildings and shooting folks up. Apparently, there was I guess a suicide note at the end of it all because he did have a self-inflicted gunshot wound, as they pointed out, talking about how he has CTE and maybe that's part of the NFL thing he's going in that building for, but also he had some mental health issues as well. This is one of those cases. They're looking for more motives and figuring out exactly why and what and all that stuff. So, of course, in response to a lot of this stuff, there's folks who have different perspectives of what is that could have been done. This retired New York police officer on Fox News had a different take of how we should approach this.
There's talk of more police officers. There's talk of, more omnipresence. And I definitely agree with much of what Paul and Nicole were saying. But we need to deputize ourselves. Sean, let's take you as an example. My understanding is you train really hard in MMA. I'm guessing you train with your firearm as well. We each need to empower ourselves not to be a victim. Bystander apathy is what occurred, is the term used as this gentleman walked, this Cretan walked with a long gun down the street. No one said anything. I'd be curious to see how many 911 calls were made. We need to empower ourselves, deputize ourselves. If you would have seen that person, I guess you would have acted a lot different, as would have I. These businesses that have security in the lobbies, there's a knee-jerk reaction. They may enhance it, but they do a cost-benefit analysis, and it'll go right back to the same. Only when we respect police officers, when respect is given back to the police officers, when we end this defund the police, when we end these sending in therapists or counselors, will people respect and, yes, be slightly afraid that I might get taken out before I do anything. We see this perpetrator, this sicko, as well as criminals all over Manhattan, all over the country, not respecting the law, feeling they can do what they want. Only when we collectively push back, fight back, and act will this lessen and hopefully stop.
Yeah, it's sad. I do think people need situational awareness.
So that's Bill Stanton, apparently a former NYPD officer, talking about people need to have, he and Hannity, talking about people have situational awareness for these situations. Maybe, Hannity, you train in MMA fighting, also in gun training. I'm sure you'd have done something completely different from a guy rolling down the street with a huge-ass rifle in his hand. We need to have situational awareness because, these victims were too cowardly to not step up and put their face in front of the gun of a guy who's currently going to shoot people, because he's not going to use that gun. That's the problem. But don't forget, remember Timber Chet. I will bring him up every time. Remember Timber Chet, representative from Tennessee, after those children got shot in that school, he said, I told my daddy told me this all the time. If someone wants to take you out and they don't have any regard for their life, there's nothing you can do about it. So we're not going to do anything about it. You're on your own. But the problem is calls for defunding the police. Respect the police again. What does that mean? Where's the gauge for when enough people respect the police enough that disregard everyone's lives and don't respect the people that they're supposed to be protecting and serving? When that part switches and we stop putting money towards these therapists and these psychologists, which we don't. They don't defund the police talk. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. No, it didn't happen. Even though they keep saying that it happened. Police funding continues to increase and things like this continue to happen. But you're supposed to come out there with your MMA training and confront a guy with a long rifle that has the right to do that stuff, concealing or not, because this is the United States of America. I wonder if Bill Stanton, that retired NYPD officer, cares enough about folks that roll down the street with long guns out, and maybe there should be some rifle training for people who want to stop them. That's what he said. That's what he said. You should be trained to confront people with long guns that come into your neighborhoods and in the streets and start brandishing it and threatening to kill you. You should kill them first. That's what he said. I wonder if it applies to this situation.
Hey, yo, what the look. Put it in the car. Hey, these are legal citizens, you pieces of shit. You. Put it in the car. Hey, what the is wrong with you guys? Look. Put him in the car. Hey, I got this over here. Don't worry about it. Back up over here. Still, do what the what kind of they're putting hands on him, dude, and you're putting wrong with you. You're hitting people. Hey, you almost ran me over, homie. Back the homie. I will knock you out. Get out of here. Get out of here. Hey, you forgot to cover your face. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Hey, you guys are not supposed to be hitting people. Back up.
I just saw a gang of people with long guns pulling up into parking lots and harassing and assaulting citizens in the streets with long guns, cocked them, pointed it at them, and said, "Get the F back." I wonder if Bill Stanton thinks that maybe there should be enough citizens in the streets pulling out their guns and shooting them in the head. I'm just curious because that's what he said should happen. People with long guns run up in the streets and we have to stop them. Maybe there's some MMA training you could implement and use on those guys as they walk up and point long rifles at you. Unidentified people with masks on 98% of the time, running up and pointing guns at you in unmarked cars. There's no official vehicles here. There's no official identification. There's no warrants. So I'm wondering, does that apply to everyone else? I feel like we know the answer to that question. I'm sure you guys saw this aspect of this story of this NYC shooter who tragically killed, I believe, 3 to 4 people. Charlie Kirk had thoughts. I mean, one, and it's based in racism. Was just in New York City all weekend with our family. Never felt safe. So many people in the city who don't belong. Praying for all those involved. Which people did he see that don't belong? He said so many people in the city who don't belong. Didn't say this one guy shouldn't be on the streets because he has mental health issues and has access to guns and apparently has a homicidal tendencies. Not that guy shouldn't be on the streets with a gun. People, so many people in the city who don't belong because he was afraid because he's a bitch. He's so afraid of so many people with this picture that he then posted of this brown guy who committed the shooting. So many people don't belong. This is how rhetoric then leads to people implementing policies that will make sure that they exclude and discriminate against certain folks having these rights. And then the way that we think about how those people are a danger to society. And if they're a danger to society, if they look brown enough, we apparently should take our ICE agents who have long guns and harass people in the communities as well as American citizens and apparently have a mass deportation policy. This is how rhetoric that then gets consumed by so many people, it turns into them accepting these types of policies that are harmful to everybody. White supremacy always leads to destruction. That's how you become a third world country. With people like this saying things like that and ignoring smart people like Mehdi Hassan who responded to it. He said, quoted him, so many people in the city who don't belong. He said, Kirk, who's an anti-immigrant Islamophobe, wrote this post without knowing at the time, I assume, that the NYPD officer who gave his life today was a Bangladeshi Muslim immigrant. Dudarul Islam. I believe I said his name incorrectly. I apologize. Of course he didn't know. I mean, he doesn't care to know. He probably did know. Who cares? He's afraid of so many people who don't belong in the city that he doesn't live in.